Hello and welcome to my attic. Okay, how to be open and honest and not get manipulated. The answer is to be open and honest. Okay, I'll explain. But before I do that, I need to throw out some information that's going to come in later about INTPs, very wicked smart, especially when it comes to manipulating people. INTJs are difficult to manipulate, but they are one of the few types that can pull it off. Another concept that's going to come in later and I need to talk about beforehand. Oh yeah, keeping that bit about ENTPs in mind. A little more information that you should keep in mind. For the greater good, or the ends justify the means, that can be true in most situations, most urgent situations, but in most non-urgent situations, it's not really true. See, when we're using this, or when other people are using this, we'll forget that little bad actions can butterfly effect into big bad actions, or link into a pre-existing chain of events and turn that chain of events bad. Yeah, so you could get to your one big good and have left a wake of things that will become lots of big bads. Okay? Alright. Step 1. Sorry. Know your weaknesses. The easiest way as an NT type, but more specifically as an INTJ, is your hugely inflatable ego. It is easily inflated. It self-inflates. Okay? That's the point of having good close friends, is so that they can deflate your ego. It's painful every time, but it has to happen. So, if you are around someone and they're saying things about you to you or to other people that make you, or that imply that you are somehow better than other people, right? It's bad praise. You know the difference between good and bad praise, right? It's the bad praise, the praise that suggests you're actually better than other people. There's a 1 in 10 chance they are doing that because they're actually being kind of dumb and actually think you're some great person, right? There's a 9 in 10 chance that they are doing that because they are trying to get something from you dishonestly. Okay? I'll get back to that. So, the thing you need to do is ask them why they said that. Right? And whether they're being honest or dishonest, their answer will be, oh, it's because I was really impressed by your big, epic brain matter. Squishy grayscales cells are so very cool. In which case, be open and honest. Tell them, I have an ego problem, and when you say things like that, it inflates my ego and makes me a worse person. And I'm trying, because I'm a decent human being, I'm trying not to be a worse person. I'm trying to improve myself. And if they were the 1 in 10, they'll be like, oh, and they might have some respect for you for that. And hopefully they won't do it again, right? If they were the 9 in 10, check, right? They can't use that move again without revealing themselves, okay? Unless they're dumb. Well, okay, yeah, they might use it again, but they would still reveal themselves, and that would be kind of a mistake. You're already difficult to manipulate, and that is the easiest way to manipulate you as an NT, but more specifically as an INTJ. Right. I feel like there's more I wanted to say about that. Let me think for a second. Yeah. If they do repeat this, promoting your ego. Again, this doesn't necessarily mean that they were the 9 out of the 10 and that they're trying to use this against you again. They could just be the 1 in 10 and they're just really still making bad mistakes, bad choices. In which case, you still need to put space between you and them. Because either way, whether they're honest or dishonest, they're unhealthy for you to be around. So, put some distance between you and them. Okay. The other way, almost only an ENTP will be able to pull this off. Because it takes powerful extroverted intuition to do this. They need to give you a series of choices and utilize your other weakness, they needed to utilize your other strength that can also turn into a weakness, which is the wicked fast decision making. And by giving you sketchy advice that perhaps in the moment looks good, but in the future could be bad, could turn very bad for you, and pressuring you to make the decision before you've really had a chance to isolate yourself and think it over, right? Either that or offering that bad advice when they realize that you're already in the moment and probably won't take the time to think it over, okay? The way to do this is by just realizing that your wicked fast decision making is a problem when you're stuck in the moment and haven't had a chance to isolate and think before you've made a decision, right? Or at least, maybe you don't have to isolate and think, but at least take a few seconds to cast into the future and think about that decision, right? By realizing that about yourself, advice that you're given will automatically be thoroughly thought about, right? And if it is bad, you can ignore it. Don't let someone pull a flawed ethical argument out of their ass to try to make you stick with the decision that you've made that was bad, that you didn't have time to think about. Besides, ethics are kind of just 3.8 billion morals in a trench coat. Again, just use your moral reasoning. Tell them, hey, just because I said yes to this decision, at first glance, does not mean that I promised you anything or that I am obliged to follow through with that decision or to act on it. See, if a person manages to, if a person has made a bad decision and is lucky enough to discover that it was a bad decision before they've acted on it, absolutely, by all means, they should rethink that decision, even if it means letting someone down. I know that sucks. I hate letting people down. But you can't, for the sake of not letting them down in the moment, follow through with this bad decision that will have bad long-term consequences. Okay? Right. And then that just protects against that argument. That's not necessarily a way of telling whether someone's trying to be manipulative or not. That just protects against that form of manipulation. It doesn't really help you spot a manipulator. Hopefully, if you are doing that consistently, a manipulator will kind of lose stamina and go away. You know, they'll either drift away or just disappear in the night. Okay, how do you get something from an open and honest INTJ? Be fucking open and honest, people. Okay? Ask us. Tell us what you want. Tell us that you want something from us and what that thing is. And if we can do it, we have the ability to do it, morally we can do it, then absolutely we will. See, that's what makes us happy, being able to help people out and give them a good experience. That's what we live for, right? We want to do that, and we're good at it, right? We can get into the situation and do a really good job at something for you, okay? So just be open and honest. Just tell us that you want something from us. And if it's something we can give you without screwing up our own futures or without dropping something that's really important that we have to hold on to right now, we'll do it, right? If it's not morally wrong. Yeah. I think that's it. So basically the answer, to summarize, how to be open and honest with how you think and feel and not get manipulated is to be open and honest with how you think and feel. It's a self-solving problem. Okay. Bye.